In early March of 2014, we took a trip out to beautiful Leland County to take a look at the ice caves that had formed off of North Gills Pier Rd. The ice caves formed a few hundred yards off the shore. I've lived in Michigan my entire life and always enjoy Lake Michigan, but I have never seen anything quite like this before. There were lots of places where you had to really watch your step. The ice had formed very smooth and slippery. This section that we're walking through is a section between the two sets of caves. The smaller caves on your left were closer to shore, and on your right is the back side of the larger caves that had formed. This is a section that's normally just water. There could be boats going by, people fishing, swimming, hanging out on the beach, and it certainly doesn't look like that right now. There was definitely a lot more to it than you're going to see in this video. If it ever forms again and you get the opportunity, you should definitely check it out. I could make a long video trying to show all the footage and stills. I actually made about 4 trips out to the ice caves. Each time it was near sunset, as you can see in this picture, and also caused some odd effects with the camera and also the snow, making some of the snow caves appear that they were yellow, and they did have a little bit of yellow glow to them from the sunset. The first trip that I made out to the caves was a little bit like going to the zoo. There was a lot of people out there, more people than would ever show out just to see the beach in the summertime. Cars parked all up and down the road, special parking situations, and people all over the place enjoying the sights. I probably spent a grand total of probably 8 or 10 hours total out here, climbing around, crawling around, taking pictures, getting some video, checking out all the sights and the weird ice formations. And it was a good way to enjoy the cold that Mother Nature's been dishing out to us in northern Michigan. This year it feels like Mother Nature's been a little extra brutal to us around here with the temperatures and the snowfall. There were caves for a long stretch along the shoreline. As I understand it, the caves were formed by the waves pushing up slushy ice and causing it to pile on top of itself and then freeze, forming these big openings in there. Some of the tops of these caves are probably 20 to 30 feet tall from the surface of the ice to the very top. If you'd look out across Lake Michigan, it appeared that it was froze all the way across. Indeed, I think that, as I understand it, it was, and there were several people who had walked out to some of the islands that normally you would be taking a boat to go see. There are a few places where you'll notice some cracks like here. Some of the other caves that we went in had some large cracks in them and made you a little weary as you went in. Some of the caves had some smaller passageways in the back that was hard to get any video or photos of, but they were very interesting to get in there and explore. You just had to really watch your step. I took lots and lots of still pictures out here with the camera and have quite a collection of interesting photos from the adventure. I'm only aware of one accident that happened out here where they had to get a rescue team out and someone had fallen about 22 feet off of the top of one of the caves down to the ice below. Some of these large chunks, when they break off, I'm sure are going to make quite a splash. I just wouldn't want to be standing on the ice next to them when they come down. I'm sure it'll be quite dangerous when it starts to cut loose. It's hard to tell on the video, but what you're actually looking at there is the moon. As you can see from this video, some of the caves were not too big, but you could get in there and walk around and explore them. Really difficult to get good video of it without having a super wide angle lens. I was using the GoPro Hero 3 Black Edition to take this video. Kind of pulled a dirty trick on my wife. I had it on the end of an extendable pole, and initially the camera was pointed back at her, and she was not aware of that. Later, when I told her that the camera had been facing her, she was a little bit hostile about it for a couple of minutes. If you're not familiar with a GoPro camera, it would be easy to get confused about it because there is no viewfinder or LCD screen on the back side of it. The back and the front look very much alike. Some of the sunsets that we watched out here were just spectacular as the sun would go down over the ice with the Sleepy Bear Dunes in the background. Quite a sight to see. If you take a look at the roof of this particular cave, you will see that there are several sections of that that appear to be coming apart and not that tightly connected. Can make you a little bit nervous. I'm sure that there's some weight involved with those chunks of ice. These were the only snowmobiles that we seen the entire time that we were out there. You wouldn't want to be out a little ways out from the caves as the terrain gets too rough for a snowmobile. If you take a look at the people inside this cave, you'll get an idea from the perspective about how tall those peaks really are. Pretty tall indeed. This section was filmed a little later in the evening, and you can see the increase in yellow in the snow and a little bit of red there from the sunset as we have a photographer up in the small cave and looks like the wife and the dog along. This is a picture of some of the jagged pieces of ice that were sticking up out a little ways out from where the ice caves were. Some of these pieces you could grab and move back and forth. Really interesting how they're shoved up through there. You definitely wouldn't want to be on a snowmobile trying to ride through that mess, that is for sure. Here you'll have to pardon my extra jerkiness as I'm holding onto two cameras in a camera bag and trying to climb up this little slippery hump to get up inside. Really didn't want to fall on the ice. It's so jagged and uneven you'd hurt yourself for sure. This view is looking out of the back side of one of the larger caves at that section between the small and large ones on the other side. Looking out the roof of the cave. What you can't see here when it seems like I speed up right there and then come to a stop again is that I actually started sliding downhill out of the cave a little bit, and Matt grabbed my arm and helped steady me while I was still holding on to the camera equipment trying to keep myself upright. What a view. Life's too short not to get out and enjoy some of it. If you get the opportunity to check out something new like this, make sure that you take it. Go and take in the sights, see something new, do a little exploring. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully it'll inspire you to get out and have a little adventure of your own.